Hello there and welcome back to my kitchen. Now today I'm going to be using some of the squash that we've grown in our garden, and I know that I did some sauteed squash in the caramelized onions, but this recipe is different. It's the one that the Black Eyed Pea Restaurant uses for their baked squash casserole. It came out, again, I got this out of the Houston Chronicle many years ago. Their food section had some of the best recipes in it. They also had the recipe for their broccoli cheese soup, and I'll be making, it's on the back of this card, I'll be making that for y'all one day before too long. But I've already got a lot of the squash is already cut up. And in the pot, you just cook it till it's tender, and I'm gonna, and then you either mash it or just stir it till it mushes, because you're just gonna make a casserole out of it. So I'm gonna do the last. You do 5 pounds of squash for this recipe, and I'll be putting some of this in the freezer. It freezes really well. It also calls for a cup of breadcrumbs, and they use their yeast rolls. I made my own, so I'm going to whiz up some rolls here to make some really pretty finely grated chopped breadcrumbs. And it calls for a cupful in the casserole and then some to sprinkle on the top. So I just did a couple of, I think I did 3 rolls. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of chopped onion, but I'm going to put a little bit more onion. I know from making it in the past that I wanted a little more onion flavor in it, so I'm going to chop my onions right quick. And I'll measure those in just a minute. I'm going to get this squash on in the pot. Some for the compost, and let it start heating. And when it gets through, when it gets tender, then I'll bring you back and tell you how much onion and how much of everything that I'm putting in it. But I just wanted you to see the beginning. You just cut the yellow squash into little pieces and you boil it until it's tender. Then you drain it, and then we'll go on with the rest of the casserole. And it's going to be yummy. I'm not sure what I'm going to fix to go with it, but we'll enjoy some vegetables. Okay, I've got my squash strained, and I let it strain to get as much of the water out as I can. So I've got it done, and I just put my stick of butter, I just put it in little pats all over it to start melting. And I'm just going to stir that around to melt the butter. I did spray my pan with some cooking spray. It just makes it clean up a little better. And I guess y'all notice I use these pans. I've got 2 of them, and I just love the way the stoneware cooks. And besides that, I think they're pretty on the outside. So I do have some 9x13 regular cake pans in stainless steel, but I just love these that I got from Pampered Chef years ago. I don't know what color they offer now, but this was the color back that year when I had a party and got my free stuff. Okay, it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, and it called for 2 tablespoons of onions, but I put 4 tablespoons of onions in it because I like a little more onion than you can taste when you just put the 2 tablespoons. I make this pretty often. When I'd go to Black Eyed Pea Restaurant, I always wanted their squash. They called it baked squash, and I wanted broccoli cheese soup. And I was so excited when the Houston Chronicle posted both of those recipes. So let me tell you, I've just about worn that broccoli cheese soup recipe out. I love it. Now I need to put in a cup of breadcrumbs, and in here I've got 2 cups. So I'll just guesstimate how many. That's about a cup. And then I saved a few because you're supposed to sprinkle some on the top when you get done. And remember, this is yeast roll breadcrumbs. That's what they said they used, was their leftover yeast rolls. So I made rolls a few days ago and purposefully saved some for when we got another picking of squash. I wanted to make this casserole. I love it. Okay, and then it calls for 2 eggs whipped together, and I'm going to put them in. And the reason I wait till last is so it'll be cooled a little bit and it won't scramble those eggs instead of blending them. Ask me how I know to do that. I've had scrambled eggs and stuff when I was younger and didn't know what you were supposed to do. This is a moist, really yummy. And it says just to add a dash of pepper and salt as needed. So I'm going to I'm making me some tea while I'm doing this. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt. I think it can use about a teaspoon of salt because there's no seasoning in that whatsoever. I did not put my usual onion and garlic powder because I really like the way this casserole tastes. Just like this. Now I have sprinkled cheese on the top, but I'm not even going to do that today. I'm just going to put the breadcrumbs that they call for on the top and bake it at 350 until it's lightly browned, and that takes about probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes according to your, I don't know, oven, elevation, I don't know. I just set my timer for the estimated time and then I reset it if it's not brown as I want it. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. See, it's just a nice casserole. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring it back over here and put the breadcrumbs on the top. And I've got about 3/4 of a cup more breadcrumbs. And I'm just going to sprinkle them on the top. Kind of put them around. Then I like to get me a paper towel and wipe the edges of my casserole dish down because I don't like burnt stuff sticking up there. Just one of my little things. Okay, I'm fixing to put it into the oven. 350, my tea's ready. Y'all will have to just bear with me a minute. Gotta put my tea bags in. And set my timer. You know, this girl has to have tea to run on, so that's taken care of now. Okay, into the oven, 350. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so good when it comes out. Now I'm going to read y'all the recipe in case you want to write it down. Go get your pen and paper. And while you're getting your pen and paper, I'm going to show y'all something that we have used, and I couldn't remember where I bought them, and I found them again. Now you may not like plastic, and if not, I drink from a stainless steel one that I bought at the same place. But these straws that I got yesterday at Bed Bath & Beyond, look how tall they are. And they're perfect in your Yeti or whatever brand of that you have. Yeti's kind of like Coke, it's a name. These are wonderful because they're tall. So I just thought I'd give you a heads up that there's 24 of them, and I think they were $4. So heads up, you can get those at Bed Bath & Beyond, and they're great because they're firm and they're a little bit bigger than your regular straw. You can get your little brush down on them to clean them. Just a tip. Okay, you got your pen and paper ready? Here we go. The Black Eyed Peas Baked Squash Casserole. 5 pounds of medium-sized yellow squash, 2 eggs beaten, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and in parentheses they say rumor is that they use their whole wheat rolls. Mine weren't whole wheat, but they were homemade yeast rolls. 4 ounces or 1 stick of butter, and use real butter. 1/4 of a cup of sugar, you can use Splenda. Salt and pepper as needed, and 2 tablespoons of diced onions. Now I told y'all I did 4 tablespoons. It's up to you. You could cut the tips off of your squash, both ends. You don't want that sandy mess in there. And then cut them up and cook them just until they're tender, and you can stir them and mash them, but you don't want them to be totally like mashed potatoes, okay? And then you're going to mash them, and you're going to drain them and then mash them up, and you're going to combine them with the rest of the ingredients and then put it into a lightly greased or a pound casserole dish, about a 3-quart dish, and bake it at 350 until it is light brown, and it makes about 10 servings. Now don't forget to sprinkle you some breadcrumbs on the top at the end, and that just makes it, those toasty breadcrumbs just add flavor to it. Okay, I will show y'all when it comes out of the oven, and you need to put this on your list because right now, the beginning of the summer, yellow squash are going to be abundant, but in our area, most of the year, you can get yellow squash at the grocery store for 99 cents a pound. So this is something that's a good side dish to add to your recipes, and it's good for you because it's a vegetable. It don't have a lot of bad stuff in it. So I'll be back in a minute and show y'all what it looks like. I sure do thank y'all for watching and subscribing and telling your friends about my channel. Y'all don't know how much I'm enjoying this. It's just fun to talk to you. And then when you comment, I mean, I'm getting to know some of y'all because you comment real regular and I get to answer back. And that's just a lot of fun for me. I'm a people person and I love connecting with everybody. Okay, I just got the casserole out of the oven. And look how pretty it is with those browned breadcrumbs on it. And I've already got a little piece out, and I will do a taste test here in a minute and show y'all what it's looking like. It sure is good. Well, I've already had a little taste, but I'll let y'all see me get a bite of it. Hey there again. Man, this squash casserole is done and delicious. And let me show you. I plated some up. Put a little bit of fresh tomato with it. Went outside and clipped a few chives to put on top of it. I don't know if it's doing good or not, focusing or not. I hope so. Let me see. Anyway, it's very good. I'm going to get me a fork. I'm going to get a taste of it. Now, if I have it on a meal and we have like peas and other vegetables, cabbage with it and all, I don't put the stuff on it. But sometimes, I'm not kidding y'all, I like to just get a helping of the casserole. And I've been known to just order me some casserole from Black Eyed Pea to eat. It's good. If you love vegetables like I do, and I've always loved squash, you'll like this recipe. So give it a try and come back tomorrow and see what we fix to go with it. We'll have something yummy. Thank y'all for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and please keep sharing my channel so it'll just grow. I want it to just explode. That'll just make me so happy. Thank you for coming by the kitchen. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll save you a seat at the table.